Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This of course is another anime reaction video. Today, we're going to be getting back into some more Banana Fish. The last two episodes were an amazing, amazing hook for the series, amazing start to the series. You know, they were incredibly engaging, and there's just so much about it that's really interesting, and I kind of appreciate the little, like, modernization touches that they kind of have. I mean, it doesn't really change things too much, but, like, just kind of adding them in. It was both a fun little addition and also a little bit confusing with how they were tracking people by their phone GPSs, but then they were like immediately putting, I guess it's because it was a corruption thing, but they were immediately putting Ash into jail with like basically zero evidence other than, well, you would have been okay if he died, you know. But either way, it kind of reminds me of how they sort of modernized Parasite when they did an anime adaptation of that with Parasite the Maxim, except for it wasn't, like, as extreme from what I remember. I didn't really notice it. I think the big difference in, like, the modernization is mostly the art style, honestly. But that's completely, like, off-topic. As I was just mentioning in the last few episodes, Ash was arrested and thrown in prison for a crime he didn't commit. There's a whole lot of things going on right now, but the main concern right now is that Papadena's men are going to try and have Ash killed in prison because he knows something about this whole banana fish thing, you know. It's kind of crazy, but I'm super excited to get into more of this. So, as always, unless you're new here, there will be links down in the description below, which will take you to the full-length uncut reaction, so go ahead and go over there and watch the reaction, and come back to YouTube for the discussion. Without further ado, let's get started with episode 3 of Banana Fish. So I have a couple of things I wanted to look into during this discussion portion, but overall, another fantastic episode. Things have been getting so good lately. You know, I mentioned it way back, first episode. Pacing, in my opinion, has gotten a lot better. I'm no huge critique, so I might be using that word wrong. I'm like not a huge critic of things. I'm not, at least not professionally. But I really enjoyed. First of all, they're adding more. Just sprinkling little crumbs on some information on like banana fish and this mysterious drug. Obviously they're doing it through the lens of obviously Ash. There were people yelling outside. Ash confronting Max, who was there during the killing, which, by the way, I kind of need to check that. Is that I think that might be him, the one smoking. Because he's the one who shot, yeah, he was the one who was smoking, the one who shot Griffin in the legs. So yeah, he was there. I just didn't remember him. And also, another thing they brought back that I wasn't expecting was the dude who died at the first episode after the bit in Iraq. But anyway, little crumbs. Ironic because it is in fact like a powder drug as far as we know, and that it's similar to LSD but isn't. And I initially thought banana fish was the drug, but it's actually maybe a person and or organization, which I brought it up. It's very slightly. I don't think it'll be true, but I mean that would kind of make sense, wouldn't it? The rumors completely stopped after 2007. Oh, government conspiracy, because that's a thing that happened before, where they were just like giving cocaine to like the people or whatever for their nefarious things, you know. And God, you know, there's something I kind of appreciate about Ash's character. Even though he's like gone through so much shit, he continues to like let himself go through shit, like what happened in the library, for the sake of going forward with his plans. He's really crafty and resourceful, and I think a part of that is because even though he's 17, he's able to do all the things. It's because he had to go through so much shit. He had to learn and adapt. And while it is impressive and like incredible, and I'll give him as much credit as he deserves, and probably even more than that, it do kind of suck that he had to learn it like the way he did, you know? Like they mentioned that I can't tell which one is older when they were when AG and, you know, Ash were meeting up in the visitation area. It's again because he was forced to grow up before he could, and you know what, that can happen to a lot of kids for a lot of different reasons. Obviously Ash's, because as far as we know, he didn't have any parents growing up, and he was constantly abused by some garbage excuses for human beings. That's all I want to refer to them as, because it's just you know, the truth. But it can happen to kids whose parents have had a divorce, if they have a single parent for whatever reason, you know, if they have both parents but like the relationship is rocky and like the financial situation isn't great, and or if they have a bunch of siblings that don't always get the proper amount of attention. It can force kids to grow up faster than they have to. And Ash's is definitely one of those like worst case scenarios, you know, where he's had to go through so much shit and that's how he is. But I hope things work out for him in the end, because not only, again, in the past he's gone through so much shit. In the future he will continue to go through so much shit because of who he is and like what affiliations he's had in the past, and like his snooping around for the whatever it is he wants out of this. He deserves to be happy. Like, come on. I think everybody deserves to be happy, but out of everyone in the show so far, Ash has got to, because Ash needs to be happy. You know, his only family that he has, as far as we know, is his brother, who's basically a vegetable at this point. You know, can't speak, doesn't recognize anything. He's in prison for a crime he didn't commit, and he had that one scumbag cop bring up his past in front of him, just like, oh, would you look at this movie you were in? I'm like, ugh. Leaves a sour, disgusting taste in my mouth, you know? But that was smooth. I knew he was planning something. Unless I'm stupid, I don't recall what he was doing with the fork that he took. Because scrolling through, he didn't use it as a weapon, as far as I know. Maybe at most, he, like, I don't know. He used the fork to... No, that might have been the fork he was given, to stab the banana. Maybe he used it to pry open the pill. I've never had that. Opened up a pill to put something inside. But that was cool. I really appreciated that, like, resourcefulness. Oh. And what was so great is that the way he did it was... it was definitely attention grabbing, and I think that was on purpose, to get everybody's attention by being, you know, really, like, almost, like, grandiose and, like, dramatic. But then that serious look in his eyes. I'm surprised by how much Ash trusts AG right now. They haven't known each other for very long, but he trusts him so much. Look in my eyes. I put something in your mouth. I know it's dangerous, but I need you to do this for me, please. And, like, I'm sure he could have done it with anybody else, but the fact that he chose to do it with AG, instead of, like, trying to call in somebody else. Maybe he doesn't have very many people he can talk to, or something. But either way, that was really, like, cool bit of, like, trust. Like, I know you can do this for me. And I think it might have been because, even though he's not as, you know, as brave or courageous or as resourceful as Ash, for instance, he still did, you know, pull out some cool shit when they were kidnapped with Skip. When he pole vaulted over that, like, wall. That was crazy. So, couple more things before we move on to the next episode. Let's see. In the Chinese restaurant, this short-haired woman who let me go look at. She never mind. For some reason in my memory, I thought she looked a bit more upset, but no, she's just like very like neutral expression. But I need to go back into the opening because there was one person in like a jacket that looks kind of similar. I might be insane. I might be wrong, but I think it's the haircut and like the general like physique almost. It's mostly the haircut, but again, I need to rewatch the opening, so just like give me a second here. Okay, yeah, I think I might have been wrong. I've got it up in the opening right here. The haircut looks kind of similar, maybe the hair color, but I don't know. See, it's hard to go like between here. Hold on. Let me try and get like 2 screenshots of the characters so I can look at them more side by side. I think I might be wrong here. They look kind of similar. I won't say definitively if I think... What is that shadow in the background? Is somebody watching? What the fuck is that? I just noticed that. I think I might be insane. But if I end up being right, that would be crazy. I don't know. This guy seems eccentric too. I don't know what his deal is. I feel like he's somebody in disguise or something. I don't know. But the guy in the background... Okay, for some reason I thought it might have been him. But the hair is parted differently. But... It doesn't look like this one has earrings, but like the outfit with like the plain white shirt, and what did the lady have for pants? I don't think, did we even see it? Oh, we didn't see her lower half. I'm suspicious, but they maybe someone related. I don't I don't know. But the fact, but the fact that he was sent here by Ash and he's connected to Shorter Wong makes me think this might be involved with that kind of world. I'm still not completely sure, but one last thing I need to look into. Okay, yeah, okay, I did remember that. I don't remember if I actually watched the full movie, but it's called Bridge to Terabithia. I don't know, again, I might be completely wrong, and it's not a reference to that, and it's like a reference to something else, which I'll have to look into myself. Like, what was the episode title? Across the River and Into the Trees? Because what happened was they were getting, apparently a guy named, wait, no. Yeah, Jess and Leslie became friends, and they had, like, Leslie had a bad family life, and eventually, oh no, have I just spoiled myself? Is that going to be a thing in the future? Is it going to be, oh, because Ash has a tough childhood, and, like, AG is kind of like the bit of, like, normalcy, or, like, normal child thingies, or whatever, that, they connect over, but then eventually fucking Leslie the girl ends up when trying to cross over into their imaginary like world or whatever, ends up dying. Is Ash gonna die by the end of this? Because that would be so tragic. Have I just fucking ruined this for me? I hope I didn't. I want to look this. Across the River and Into the Trees. It's a book by Ernest Hemingway. I'm not gonna look up what it's about though, because I feel like I may or may not have spoiled myself or something with that. Don't tell me in the comments, because that would be really spoiling me. But I feel like if I looked more into that Ernest Hemingway book, I might end up spoiling myself. Which is why I didn't look any more into the Salinger novel, the Banana Fish, whatever. Perfect Day for a Banana Fish. I think that's what the novel is called. But either way, I'm gonna get started with the next episode now. Just another fantastic episode. I've been really enjoying this whole, like, almost like prison arc, where we've just been hanging out, following what's been going on with Ash in prison, and, you know, obviously AG and others, what they've been trying to work out here outside of prison. It's kind of like an interesting thing, mostly because realistically AG doesn't know what he's doing in this situation, and the only reason he's able to find Shorter and get into that situation at the what you want to call it? I don't know what you would call it. Clinic, doctor's office, back alley doctor's office, was because he was sent there by Ash, and the fact that they're trying to figure out what to do on the outside while Ash tries to figure out what to do on the inside when they can't, you know, communicate with each other. It's kind of an interesting struggle that we're seeing, and I've really enjoyed seeing this sort of processing of his brother's death for Ash, because I'm glad they went the route of telling him now rather than having a moment later on where he gets pissed off because nobody told him, and, like, not even just like it would be like a cliche, but also because it would just like break my heart, and he would probably fly into a fit of rage. He was almost about to go like fly into a fit of rage and do something stupid because of it when he found out, but thankfully Max was able to stop him, and he was able to at least partially express his emotions in a less violent way, which I imagine, because of his upbringing, Ash had a hard time doing, understanding that instead of just lashing out in anger, that he can just like sit down and talk to someone, and that's probably because he doesn't have like anyone he's comfortable with in doing that sort of thing. So it was good to see that. It was really nice to see that. Other than that, it looks like they're going to be trying to get Ash and or Max, maybe both, to get them out of prison or something. Probably should do that sooner rather than later, because regardless of what happens next, Dina's probably going to be a bit upset and try and push harder to have Ash killed in prison, because Garvey was taking his time, right? But he started getting a bit more aggressive, saying they needed to beat him, give him a good beating now, maybe even potentially kill him. But not only did he did Ash and Max stop that, they also he also got his dick and possibly balls stabbed by a fork, which would hurt a hell of a lot, and would probably realistically have like some long-term damage. Just talking about that I don't like thinking about that. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah. So he's gonna be pissed about that. Dino will probably be a bit upset that Ash hasn't been killed yet. He might be slightly okay with it because he used to be Ash's, Ash used to be Dino's little play toy or whatever. It definitely still feels like we're in the rise. Like if we looked at it like that little graph that shows like how stories work, where it's like the build up and then like the climax and then the resolution. Or I'm severely paraphrasing it because I don't remember. It's been a long time since I took like in 9th grade or like 8th grade English class. So I forget it off the top of my head, but it definitely still feels like we're in the rising part of it. It's still super interesting. I'm enjoying it a hell of a lot. But it definitely feels like we've slowed down a lot to set things up that will potentially be paid off in the future. Especially where in these past 2 episodes, we're getting extra little crumbs on what exactly this drug is. So far, you know, obviously it's produced by someone or some group called Banana Fish. Reason unknown, but we know that it's basically a stronger form of LSD and triggers like violent tendencies within the user, right? It's gonna be interesting to see further conflicts between like Arthur, for example, because he's a very strong like dislike for Ash, and so far that seems like he's one of the main villains, other than Dino. It's Arthur, Dino, and there's like somebody with like a ponytail, kind of in the opening that shows up in between them that as far as I know, we haven't seen yet. But it'll be interesting to see how that all progresses, especially because, from what I've gathered, we might be trying to get Ash out of prison soon, and he's gonna be a bit upset. He's gonna, even though he, you know, instead of bottling up his emotions as much as he probably would have before and expressing himself through anger, he took the time to like to process and like grieve in a more healthy way, that being crying and talking to somebody. You know, he'll probably still have some sort of like resentment and grudge towards the people like Dino, and especially like Banana Fish as a whole, because we don't know who that is yet. But we do know he's in some way connected to Dino, and they brought it up, but I don't remember if I brought it up in the first episode, but they mentioned the address was in like West Los Angeles, West Hollywood, somewhere in California. We're in New York right now. Are we going across the country at some point to like confront something to do with Banana Fish? Because that could certainly also be super interesting, just like a location change. I just don't know what would be over there. That's the big question. And you know what's something I also love? AG. He's great. It definitely reminds me of the of that sort of sheltered you know, pampered kid, and the rough and tough street kid coming together and learning about each other and understanding. And what's interesting about that is that's usually like a trope that you'll see in like a romance thing. And while there was that nice little kiss in the last episode, it's taken that kind of trope but then applied it into a lot more like gritty and like serious setting, which is really interesting. I fucks with it. I really fucks with it. This is an amazing show so far, you know. So, and we're only 4 episodes in, and I'm loving this show, you know. It's been a dang old time. It was like I was saying in the episode. AG, he's too deep. He's too invested in this whole situation now to just let it all go. I mean, he's gotten involved. There's no way, even if he tried, maybe at most hypnosis to forget all this. But I don't think AG would willingly be hypnotized into forgetting all of that. Ugh, the lady at the Chinese shop don't spoil me. But I'm like leaning towards that she is the person in the jacket at the beginning of or at the close to the end of the opening, actually. Oh boy, I don't know. Someone I'm super interested, or super hopeful to see more of is Shorter Wong. Not only did he and his last name's Wong, so it's fine. He's allowed to. But he dressed up as the almost like racist looking like Chinese restaurant owner. It's fine. He seems like an entertaining character. Like he's very much like a goofy looking guy, and he'll do some goofy things, but he's surprisingly reliable when it comes down to it. Like when he showed up behind what's his name, Arthur, when they were taking down the little backstore clinic. And you know something? And he was probably even purposefully closing his eyes or squinting it, really, to like. I don't think we've ever seen Shorter's eyes so far in these 4 episodes. I could be misremembering. Feel free to let me know. But I don't think we've seen Shorter's eyes, which is maybe that's just gonna be like a running character thing for him, is you just don't see his eyes. I don't know, but if that ends up being for something else, that would be interesting. Will there be a moment where he like takes off his sunglasses and he has like really beautiful eyes or something? Absolutely mesmerized. Either way, you know something I also kind of appreciate is they're treating the whole prison stuff pretty seriously, you know, because that gets joked around a lot. About and like other like popular media, like, oh, you dropped the soap, oh, you're gonna get fucking you're gonna get raped. That's usually like as a joke, and jokes are often based at least somewhat in reality. This stuff happens, like, and I'm kind of glad that they're treating it pretty respectfully as like and like treating it like in depicting it in like a realistic sort of way, you know. Realism isn't always necessary to make something good, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like, oh, finally someone's like not necessarily addressing it, but like portraying it in a way that's like serious, you know. It's just a little thing that I kind of appreciate. But you know, oh, actually, yeah, I just remembered. Never mind. Hold on a second. I'm not done yet. I wanted to real quick look at what the manga looks like the art style. Banana Fish. Oh. Are all the... Hold on, I need to go look now. Are all the manga volume covers have like this like yellow, like monochrome looking thing? Oh, no, never mind. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. But the art style definitely looks super old. Oh, wow. It definitely looks super old. Shoujo. It's so interesting that this is a shoujo series. And that it's a primary demographic is adolescent girls. Very, very old looking. It's kind of similar to the anime art style, but I can definitely see the way it was kind of at least somewhat modified to be more modern, I suppose. Interesting. God, the cover, his lips, bro. I'm gonna look up something else real quick before I stop. Author is Akimi something or other. Banana Fish. Yoshida Akimi. What else has she made? I doubt I didn't know anything else that she's made. Yeah, no. Alright, well that's fine, that's fine. Oh wow, what is this? Private Opinion Banana Fish Under the Story. Is this a spin-off? What is this? A spin-off manga. Interesting. Whatever. I'm getting way too off track now. That's pretty much all I say about this episode. So if you watched all the way to this point, thank you very much for watching. Tripping over my tongue. If you enjoyed this, I just need to slow down. That's my problem. I try to speed through this. If you enjoyed this video, thank you very much. Wait. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. Also hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single upload in the future. Thank you once again for watching. Peace.